Well, let's kick off with some good news. Great news, really. There's been some incredibly positive developments in the battle against COVID-19 and progress towards a vaccine. Pfizer BioNTech, Moderna and Russia's Gamaleya Center recently announced their vaccine candidates are around 90% effective. The Oxford University AstraZeneca team made a similar announcement, but late this week said it will do another trial after current studies raised questions over the level of protection. It's been 308 days since Australia's first COVID case was confirmed, and we may just be weeks away from a vaccine being made publicly available. We'll look at how the race for a vaccine is tilting the global balance of power in a moment. But first, reporter Emily Evans covers where the race is at, how it will change all our lives, and the lingering concerns some experts have.
More than 150 vaccine candidates are being developed in more than a dozen countries. 3 are particularly promising.
Vaccines are close by. They're coming. You know, I said help is on the way.
Pfizer BioNTech was the first to publish interim trial results this month. They say their candidate is 90% effective and have already filed for emergency use authorization in the US to speed up the approval process.
This is a historic day. An historic day for science and for all of us.
Moderna is set to do the same after reporting its candidate is 95% effective. Oxford University AstraZeneca initially declared their candidate was 90% effective, though now say another trial is needed after revealing some volunteers were mistakenly given a half dose followed by a full dose.
It may have been serendipitous and a lucky accident to some extent, but the thing is the numbers in that low dose arm are not high enough to power that trial to give you that confidence and that efficacy over a larger population.
Still, AstraZeneca hoping 4 million doses will be made available in Britain by the end of the month. They've asked the UK's medicine regulator to give it the OK for a pre-Christmas rollout.
We have to be a bit careful about being over-enthusiastic, but I don't think we should change the basic feeling that really we're onto something really good for humanity at the moment.
Meanwhile, Russian scientists say their Sputnik V candidate is 95% effective after a questionable trial process. And Chinese labs are pushing approval of its Sinovac in multiple countries.
We have to also continue to encourage all the other developers who are doing clinical trials and who are in early phases of development, because we do need a variety of vaccines out there that will target different groups.
It's not just how effective a vaccine candidate is. The cost, the number of doses required and the temperature it needs to be stored at will also determine demand. The Sputnik V's 2 doses will cost $10 each. For example, Pfizer's needs to be transported frozen. Getting any vaccine to all corners of the globe presents major logistical issues. Emirates Airlines wants to provide a vaccine hub.
We're now in a position that with our fleet of aircraft, including all the freighters, that we can now create a hub for all these vaccines and then distribute them to Africa, South America, West Asia, India, Pakistan and further east.
Australia has agreements with 5 vaccine makers for more than 131 million doses. The first vaccines are expected to be ready by early 2021 if all goes well with testing. Healthcare workers, the elderly and at risk are expected to be prioritised. Our government has invested more than $3 billion on vaccine deals. Nations without such financial might will have to wait.
These countries are the worst affected by this pandemic, remember, first of all. And if we don't vaccinate those countries, they might come back in the future from those countries.
Nearly 12 months since the virus was first identified, a COVID-19 vaccine is right around the corner. What typically takes decades may be done in less than a year. This race for a vaccine may have felt like a marathon, but it's actually been a sprint. Hopefully, there's just a few strides to go.